All right. Welcome to Flexi Rod Bootcamp. We're getting bouncy, full results with each set. So listen up and take some notes. Professor Flexi, how do mine look? It's looking good. Great job. Now let's get the rest of you set up for success. All right, girlies, let's get into this Flexi Rod set. This used to be my go-to style when I was transitioning, so I'm happy that I gave it a shot again. Okay, on freshly washed hair, I started off with a spray leave-in. This one is the Wella Ultimate Repair leave-in conditioner. I just kind of sprayed this all through my hair after towel drying. I just recommend using a lightweight leave-in when doing this style, which is why I reached for this one, because spray leave-in is as lightweight as this is gonna get. Then I split my hair in half. I just felt like this was the easiest way to do it, making sure I get all the Flexi rods in the back done and then work my way to the front. I put the front in a little bun. Now let's work on these back Flexi rods. I did a total of 6 Flexi rods in the back section, so I split this back section in half and then did 3 on the bottom and then 3 on top of that. Now working with one section at a time, I just did a quick detangle to make sure there were no lingering tangles in there, and then went in with my mousse. This is the Shea Moisture Manuka Honey and Matura Oil. I think that's how you say it. Hydrating Wrap and Set Mousse. This mousse specifically says it's for roller sets and twist outs on the bottle, so I was excited to try this out. To be fair with Flexi rods, I really don't think you can go wrong with using any mousse, but there is a difference between like a wrapping, setting foam and a mousse, so just use at your own discretion. Now this is where I went wrong, because I should have just left it at the mousse, but I was like, oh, let me try to add a gel to add a little bit more hold. This is the Weedad Heat and Humidity Gel, I believe. And y'all, when I tell you this left my hair so flaky when I took down my Flexi rods, I don't know if it was just the combination of this mousse and gel or just a gel in general, but these flakes, no, please just stick to a mousse. You don't need a gel. You should get enough hold from a mousse. I got these Flexi rods at the beauty supply store. They're 5x8 diameter and 10 inches. And this is how I like to wrap mine. So I just take the Flexi rod and lay my hair flat against it and roll my ends up just a little bit, just until my ends feel secure. So after rolling up the Flexi rod about 3 to 4 times, I roll my wrist and then roll up the Flexi rod a little, roll my wrist and then roll up the Flexi rod, and just keep at that motion until we get to the roots and we can't do no more rolling, and then just bend the ends of the Flexi rods until it's nice and secure. So when I say roll my wrist, this is what I'm talking about. Just this 360 motion. I like how it lays against the Flexi rod when I do it this way. So let's walk through it again. Apply your product. Don't apply all that gel. And you know, honestly, I think I just applied too much mousse and gel. Now that I'm looking back at it, I think it was just too much. So yeah, learn from my mistake. But anyway, lay your ends flat against the Flexi rod and just start rolling your hair on top of the ends to secure it. Also, my light just died right here, so sorry for the lighting shift. But roll your wrist and then just roll up the Flexi rod a little bit as normal, and keep on with that pattern until you get to the root. Fold down the top of the Flexi rod and the bottom of the Flexi rod. So we got the first 3 out the way. This is what it's looking like. Now let's go to the row on top of that where we have 3 more. Comb through that section, apply your product, but just not as much as I applied. Lay your ends flat against the Flexi rod and just roll your hair up on top of the ends just like 2 or 3 times, and then start to roll your wrist, roll up the Flexi rod, roll your wrist, roll up the Flexi rod, and just continue that motion until you get to your root and bend those ends. Hopefully that explanation was good enough, but I'm just gonna let it kind of play through so you guys can really see what I'm doing, see the technique, the motion, the flick of the wrist. You know, give her a try and you'll realize that she ain't that hard. Also, I'm using this size Flexi rod because I feel like it's most compatible with my hair length. But if your hair is shorter, feel free to use a smaller or skinnier Flexi rod. I believe the blue one is smaller. There's like a lavender kind of purple one that's smaller, and then they come in different lengths as well. So if your hair's shorter, just use a smaller one, but use the same technique. Now our 6 in the back are done. For this front section, I ended up doing like 10 of them because I was just trying to make sure they all were around the same size. So I started out by doing 1 on top of each ear, and same technique. Sorry, it's kind of out of focus a little bit here, but just roll up the ends and then start rolling your wrist. And after rolling your wrist a full 360 or 2, wrap it up normally, roll the wrist 360, wrap it up normally until you get to that root, bend those ends, and that's it. Now, if you're confused as to which way to actually roll your wrist, there's only one way to go. If you try wrapping it the wrong way, it will unravel. The few little times you rolled up the ends will unravel, so you kind of get used to which direction to wrap it in because there's only one way to go without unraveling it. So after doing one on top of each ear, we just have this big square section in the back. So I split that in half and then did 4 on each section. Now, y'all know I have a bunch of layers and I have bangs in my hair, so when it came to the front, I had to really try to incorporate everything into that one section. So as I rolled, I just kind of tried to stretch my hair out, stretch my bangs out to get combined in with the rest of the section. Now I'm all done. 16 flexi rods in total. I repeat, 16 flexi rods in total. You want this to dry 100% before taking it down. You just wasted your time if you don't let it dry all the way, so at least give it 24 hours if you're not gonna sit under a dryer or apply any heat to it. And these are very uncomfortable to sleep in, so good luck. But now let's get into the takedown process. It's pretty simple. You just unbend the ends of the flexi rods and roll your wrist in the opposite direction that you twisted the flexi rods up in. Just be gentle and try not to pull at it. They should unravel quite easily. Now, when it comes to separating them, I'm using my Olaplex number 7 bonding oil. You can just kind of use any oil you like to use on your ends. Put a little in your fingers and just separate the flexi rods by gently just twirling them around your fingers and seeing where they kind of naturally split up and separate. This is day 1 hair, so you don't want to separate them into super tiny sections so early on. The volume will just get bigger and bigger throughout the week, and if you want it to last, maybe separate it like 3 or 4 times, but that's all. Now, like I said, I had a bit of flaking. Well, not a bit, it was a lot. You'll see it once I get to the front of the hair. I'm not sure why it wasn't like so much flaking in the back and only in the front. I don't know, maybe I used too much gel in the front, I don't know. But if you do have some flaking going on and you did not follow my directions and use gel anyway, your oil will really help break down those flakes. You got to really work with it though. I had to put quite a bit of oil in the front to just like try to get some of those flakes out there. Like I really twirled it around my fingers quite a bit. But yeah, I really want to give this style another try with only using mousse and not the gel, because I absolutely loved like how the curls were looking. Those flakes were just driving me crazy though. Once I was all done taking it down, I just took my pick and picked out the roots just a little bit so we don't have any harsh parts happening or anything like that. But I can't lie to y'all, I'm really obsessed with the definition of these curls. They look so cute, and honestly, I got so many compliments on this style too. Like, you really can't go wrong with a Flexi Rod set. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment below if you have any questions or how you feel about this style, and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.